she thought her dyslexia was because she got kicked in the head by a horse.
What?
Yes. So when she was little, she got kicked in the head by a horse, had to go to the hospital, all that kind of stuff. And so when I talked about my dyslexia, she was like, tell me more. She's like, it's exactly all the things you're saying are what I experience. How's it going?
You know, it's going all right.
How was the bachelor party?
Oh, it was really fun.
Yeah?
They had a separate, like, little barn that was like a game room. Had, like, skee ball and pop-a-shot and ping pong.
What is skee ball?
It's where you roll the ball up into the big circles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They had a skee ball machine.
I didn't know I had a name for that.
And what it really made me want the most was that barn. I was like, I want enough land to just build a barn and put a bunch of games in it. Because I was like, if I could get off work and just ski some ball, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would be really nice. Just rolling ball into up there.
Yeah.
It's relaxing.
Have you been to Logan Street Market?
Yeah.
They have an arcade now.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew that they had just the...
Tons of games.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't been there forever since we moved from out of that area. I haven't been there in a long time. I love arcade games.
It was like a place to eat, and then it was like a pickleball court.
Yeah. Oh, that little separate area.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now it's just full of arcade games.
What?
Yes. And they're like a quarter.
That's amazing.
They have Centipede.
That's amazing.
That's my favorite game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So have you spent like a lot of hours there now?
No. I only had one quarter. I don't carry cash.
You don't carry around quarters for some reason?
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of that weird person that doesn't have a pocket full of quarters.
You would think that they would give you like a card option, or maybe there'd be some sort of ATM.
Maybe it is. I didn't look.
Right.
But it's there. So definitely check it out.
That's awesome. I want to go.
So what's a bachelor party at Target look like? Did you get a basket?
Yeah. So you get a basket. It's sort of like when you're, what am I thinking of? You were like wedding planning and you're going to like run, you'd see on TV where they go like running around and scanning for all the stuff, right? It's like that. You just run around Target and you scan stuff that you think the people should have.
Did you get Sean's coupons?
Yeah, you get my coupons.
I didn't.
You didn't get them?
Did you send me some coupons?
Yeah, I did.
Did you snail mail them? Because that
Probably
might have
did.
not worked.
Yeah. I can't remember.
USPS?
Yes.
Then
I'm sorry.
That's not going to show up.
Oh, well. Anyway, you had fun.
It was fun. It was fun. It was nice. We were out in the middle of the woods in this big cabin. And it was rainy the entire time. But we did go to this place called Activate Gaming. Have you guys been there?
No.
We should do a podcast outing there.
So what is it?
It's, I don't really know how to describe it. There's just games and you wear this little wristband and like it's a workout, but like you go into these rooms and like one of them is called like grid and there's like a whole lit up grid with all these different colors, right? And so you go in and the game is when it says a color, so there's 4 of you in there. Yeah. When it says a color, all the grid is going to light up with like a square so there's 4 of you. The grid's going to light up with a square with 4 squares all throughout the room. You have to run and get on that square in like 3 seconds.
Okay.
Or else
you die.
Yeah, else you die. It's pretty intense.
Like the floor is lava.
Like Squid Game?
Yeah, it's like that kind of stuff. I've never watched Squid Game, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But it's like...
You have like that Nickelodeon, it's way back Nickelodeon episode where they used to have the game shows and they have like... Tins. Where they have the square, like you have to light up, you have the pattern and stuff.
Yeah, they have those too. So like you can pick all kinds of games. There's like rock wall, you can climb around a rock wall, and like just you can't touch certain rocks. They light up a different color, and you can't touch them. There's like a shooting game. There's all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
But like I was drenched in sweat afterward. It was like some people go there like in athletic clothes, and it's just like the way they work out.
Okay.
It was wild. And it was like maybe 20-something bucks a person or something like that.
Oh, cheaper than a gym.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really fun.
Pretty good.
But anyway, what did you do?
Just we talked. Jacob.
We had a great conversation.
I think so.
You actually did take my idea and put you put Jacob in front of this mic?
Yeah.
Hey, hold up. Your idea.
It was my idea.
It was Lucas.
I can show the
Lucas
text
mentioned
message.
it at first.
I'll show the text.
I have to side with the director.
I don't know about that,
He
man.
did bring it up.
Feels like my idea.
Now thinking about it, I think you are right, but luckily we'll go back, review the tape, and then we'll put it into the podcast.
There we go. Okay, cool. So I can be vindicated.
We had a great conversation
Yeah.
between like what a neurotypical brain, or as you call it, a normal brain.
No, we don't call it normal.
That's what I say, though. I always correct myself. It's not right. I do it all the time.
I say neurotypical.
I say,
We know what you mean.
yeah, I say normal brain.
We know what you mean.
But we had a great conversation, I thought.
Yeah.
Fun little episode.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube,
I did that. And I listened to it on Spotify too.
and I realized you're a lot bigger than me.
I am a lot.
Yeah,
Were you intimidated a little bit after?
yeah, I was pretty
Well, it's also
intimidated.
because,
I get it.
It's also because
Go for the ankles on a big guy.
It's always the ankles. It's always the ankles.
Get the ankles out.
Or the knees.
Noel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or right for the nose.
Yeah,
I go.
that's good.
That's
What'd you
what
guys?
my dad taught me.
So I hear there were some interesting things that happened on the episode, maybe?
A little bit.
We had a few
There were things that were unplugged.
things that were unplugged that we didn't realize that were unplugged.
You didn't record an episode last week, did you?
We did.
We did. It's
For
on
30
YouTube. It's on
minutes.
Spotify.
But it's-
30
you
minutes.
watch the product.
But it's really short.
I don't watch the product.
It's
We know.
really
It's
short.
pretty short.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's shorter than a typical episode.
So it's a
we
neurodivergent
just didn't
episode.
Go off topic like you do.
We did not.
You
No.
didn't go off topic at all.
We did-
I'm definitely going to listen to the episode now, and I'm
Yeah.
going to come back with some heat next week.
Heat.
So
He-
I see we
I'm
have
still
a
trying to-
wonderful book on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're trying to get us on topic again?
That's rude.
Why would you do that? Yeah. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Not specifically,
So
besides
it's-
one thing.
Okay. What's your one thing?
So I talked about 2 episodes ago now. I talked about the founder of IKEA,
Yeah.
right?
He's dyslexic.
And he's dyslexic. And so we do that a lot where we're like, oh, yeah, this guy's dyslexic.
Do you know the Swedish pronunciation? Because it's from Sweden.
I know it's from the Swedish pronunciation of what?
IKEA.
IKEA?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
I know. I've only been there 13 times, so I could be wrong. But it's IKEA. IKEA. And I'm probably not pronouncing it right because they have really particular ways of saying things.
Oh,
So when I went to Sweden, I think it was by myself because you were pregnant and I was leading a group to volunteer at a high ropes course that I used to volunteer at.
oh, those are fun.
Yeah, and I went to the passport office where you check in, to get into the country, and they're like, "Where are you going?" They speak English, and I was like, "Vietlanda, Holsbybrunn. It's near Vietlanda," and they were just looking at me like I was
No idea what you were talking
no
about.
idea. It's their country. I was like, and I know they wouldn't know Holsbybrunn because there's only 20 residents at this high ropes course.
Sure.
So I was like, Vietlanda. And they're like, I don't know where you're going. And I was like, Vietlanda? And they're like, oh. And then they corrected.
No way.
Then they corrected
No
me.
way. Oh my
They're like, no,
God.
it's Vietlanda. I was like,
You were like, you
Okay.
couldn't catch that though?
Can you
Like you
just-
couldn't tell the
Vietlanda.
difference?
does it sound the same to you? Yeah, that was a weird experience.
That is a weird experience. I think that's just a fun.
And I was like, I feel like I'm making fun of you, and I don't like that.
yeah, Vietlanda?
No, it's Vietlanda.
Vietlanda? How
No
do you even
idea.
teach that?
There's only 8 million Swedes, man.
Oh, that's true. So it can't be.
Now, and a lot of them now don't even speak Swedish.
Great. Anyway, IKEA.
Yeah.
Right? So we talked about
IKEA.
it.
IKEA.
I'm just gonna say IKEA. I'm not gonna do that. So the company that makes the furniture, right?
Yeah, they make furniture.
and it's one of the only
Like that
globalized
Wayfair?
furniture company.
Was that Wayfair?
Wayfair was the other one.
Yes.
It's like one of the not say the name, but it's IKEA is one of the only
We're mispronouncing it.
global furniture companies.
Our Swedish audience is going to hate us now.
Yeah, we had one for a period
Did we?
years ago.
Oh, okay.
People remember when we used to be able to see the dots?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't checked the stats.
Yeah, but anyway, So there's this article here from Dyslexia Help. Success starts here. It's on the Michigan State website. It's
What?
the website's called Dyslexia Help. Success starts here.
Why do you yell?
Look at it.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's in all caps.
Not all caps.
You're right. It's a lot bigger.
It's just a lot bigger.
Screenshot and send it to me.
No. I'm just kidding. I will.
It's just a glowing screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Okay, so it's talking
Yeah,
about
you ruined everything.
it's talking about the IKEA.
It's really bad radio.
It's talking about the IKEA founder. I was showing it to the camera. It was my camera. I can do what I want with it.
It's my camera, and I'll do what I want to.
So I was talking about him like 2 weeks ago, and one of the things we always talk about is we're like, oh, he's whenever it comes out is when I was talking about him. Okay, and
IKEA founder.
we always talk about
IKEA
the
founder.
fact I can't do this anymore. We always talk about the fact that he's dyslexic. And we do that with a lot of people. We're like, oh, this person's dyslexic, this person's dyslexic. So I was like, well, why do we know that he's like dyslexic? So I went and started looking into it, and I found an article about him on Dyslexia Help Success Starts Here on the Michigan State website, which I thought was a really interesting area.
Okay.
But one of the reasons it talks about him talking about dyslexia specifically was he couldn't remember product codes. So there's like 10, 12, 20-digit product codes, and he couldn't remember them.
Right.
So one of the things that's really interesting and unique about IKEA is they have names for everything. All the furniture have really particular names. I've never bought a piece of IKEA furniture, but if you have,
You haven't bought any furniture from them?
no.
I bought my bookshelves from them.
Oh. So you have put together IKEA bookshelves.
Oh, yeah, they're
We
easy.
talked about this like a month ago, and you were like, I don't put together furniture. What
well,
are you
I
talking
didn't
about?
follow directions.
Yeah, but you were just like, I don't put together furniture. I'm upset now. Never mind.
Sorry. No, that was... How long ago, Hobbs, that we bought... Is she here? When did we buy those bookshelves?
Kid God and Sarah was a baby.
Yeah. So like 16 years ago.
Oh. Okay, so
I
you,
needed bookshelves.
yeah. So you went to IKEA.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was unique. One of the unique things that they say is that he changed the name, he changed the product code numbers to names of unique furniture. Now, one of the interesting things in this article is they call dyslexia out as a disability. And they say that he worked around his disability in order to get, and I was like, this is really weird wording. So they say, so he couldn't remember product codes. So they said, so instead of delegating those responsibilities to another person or avoiding the issue, he used his disability to his advantage by coming up with a more creative system organizing his products. This turned into the most iconic aspect of the now worldwide business. His name's Campard.
I didn't know his name.
And he's done a lot of really interesting things. IKEA's super, super cool company.
And you
But-
can't pronounce the furniture names.
No, not at all. I
They're-
can't.
They're all like, yeah.
But they made a lot of them are out of like cities and towns and things like that in
Okay.
Sweden. Bridges, stuff like that are kind of what he used to remember it.
Is there a Vietlanda?
I don't know. There's probably is. Now,
There's a Smallland
Oh, a small
a Småland?
in IKEA,
Yes.
IKEA?
That's where you put your kids.
and that's the area that we go to in Sweden. Smallland.
We volunteered at a ropes course in Smallland.
Interesting. So anyway, here's the thing though. I don't think with dyslexia for me anyway, I don't think that changing product codes to names would help me remember them any better.
It would help me.
Yeah.
But I'm bad with names too.
Me too. That's what I'm saying.
So it's like numbers, names. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So you don't think that would help you either? Like
I mean, it's better than a 12-digit number.
but why?
Because after a while, like if you work at a place or like when I work with students for a long time, I can remember their names.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I have you for one class, I might not remember your name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care about you.
Sure,
We
sure.
talked about this before.
Sure.
It's just I need like constant repetition. Like who's that guy over there?
I don't know.
Kevin.
Lucas.
I think it's Kevin.
What's my age?
Captain America. Yeah, so it's one of those things where if I worked there for a long time, the names would help more
But-
than the numbers.
but-
But you can remember numbers.
Yeah, I can
can't.
remember numbers fine,
I
but
don't-
I also like, and I don't want to, belabor on the topic, but like I was trained specifically to remember numbers.
I wasn't.
So that helped a lot. But I also here's another thing that I thought, and I know you have a topic too, but I was thinking about this on the way over here. Do you have, I don't know how to describe this. This reminded me of it. So I had an interesting experience at work, which caused me to be in, it was a very adrenaline fueled moment, right? Don't want to get any of the details, but I was talking to one of my bosses, and he was like, "Yeah, anytime that happens," and he's been doing this for years and years and years. He was like, "Anytime that happens, I still get the adrenaline, right? I still it doesn't go away." So I was curious if you still get, and I don't know what the terminology of this is now, as like a seasoned dyslexic person, right? Do you still get like frequent episodes
of like
dyslexia? Like you're just like looking at something and you're like, oh, that, like, because I don't know how much I do have that happen. And I mean that in the sense, my wife and I were talking about this last night at dinner, where we're not really great at using the English language sometimes, where we say like, I don't know. And saying I don't know really means I don't know about that, right? Like, but you're not actually saying I don't know about that. You're saying I disagree with that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're using the term I don't know to say I disagree, when really the term I don't know just means I don't know. All right, we're established on that. So when I say I don't know, I really mean I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm still getting like as many like episodes or situations where I feel like, oh man, my dyslexia really screwed me up on that. Besides like spelling something. What do you think about that?
I think it's the English language in general. It's a really vague language.
Yeah.
It's context based.
Yeah.
So, you know, I remember talking to my dad about this, because he was like, "No, you say it and that's what it means."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, pass the salt."
Sure.
It's like, hand me the salt.
Yep.
If somebody passes out and you say pass the salt, it means something completely different now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's context based. And that's the problem with a lingua franca, like a language of the world.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's lingua franca.
Lingua franca? I don't know what that means.
Like it used to be Latin.
Okay.
Like everyone spoke Latin.
Got it. Listen to me.
And the problem with your language being the language of the world is that it gets really vague.
Got it.
And then what happened in Latin is it broke apart. And that's why we have French, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian.
Okay.
Right? Because people started talking differently. Because it didn't mean anything. It was so vague.
Yeah.
And so they had to come up with new words. And so that's our paradox there. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can mean many things depending on the context. And I would say, I don't know, a couple 100 years, I don't know what we'll be speaking, but it probably won't be English.
Yeah,
it's just getting so vague.
Yeah, it's just not even. It has so many different meanings. But then to the second part of that question, do you still feel like you experience dyslexia a lot?
I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm 53. So as I'm getting older, yeah, hey, it's good. I made it past the 27 club.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I'm getting older, I feel like it's becoming, I don't want to say stronger, but I feel like I'm more dyslexic now.
Really?
Than I was.
Okay.
10, 20 years ago when I was doing my dissertation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was still dyslexic, but I feel like now it's getting like...
Do you think you hit like a bell curve?
I don't know.
Like it just like was like that and then like that and then...
Something like that.
I don't know. That's not a bell curve.
Because it was really high when I was young.
Sure.
And then it got kind of easier.
Sure.
And I could navigate the academic system. And then now, you know, I'm tenured and everything, but I feel like it's getting stronger again.
Yeah.
To the point where I like don't even want to dial the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'll misdial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put someone in my group chat that is really a reporter.
Don't say. God, I knew that was where that was going.
I hate when I do that.
I could see in your eyes that you had chose violence, and then that was about to happen. You said, you put dial my phone, and I literally went, don't do it. Don't go there in my head. And you just kept talking, and I was like, and you said group chat, and I go,
Yeah, so you don't
maybe
doing group chats.
he's dyslexic.
Yeah,
we should have him on the show.
sure.
You had made such a good point up until that point. Felt like you were being really honest with us, and then
I was on it.
you were, but yeah.
But no, I've never put a report in my group chat.
Me neither.
I will.
Yeah, you can now.
Yes, just to be funny.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yes.
We should find a local Louisville reporter and put him in our group chat.
Yes.
And to just say, sorry, we're dyslexic. We should
Yes.
send him a shirt, and we should say, I guess you're dyslexic. But anyway, so outside of maybe accidentally adding people to group chats, you just like feel like you're going to misdial. You feel like you're going to misdial numbers. You feel like.
Well, like, here's the thing.
You seem like you text fine.
Yeah, I can text. But, like, you got to dial the number. So, like, say you get, like, a credit card thing, and you have to call them because, I don't know, whatever.
Sure.
So you have to dial the number, then you have to put in all your
credit card information
numbers.
on the online where it's like, please tell me your
and then you got to talk to the person
or the robot
and get through the robot, to actually like,
mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't get the bill. It's not my fault.
Right.
That's usually when I call, like, if something like that happens.
Sure. But like you're not able to take the credit card number and like recite it.
No.
Yeah.
No, I have to like write it all out.
Okay.
And then I have to like type it in or just have my card out.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And this doesn't happen a lot. But when it does, like, it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Because there's so many numbers.
Yeah.
And we just did our taxes.
Oof.
And Christy's now, I was doing them for our whole marriage. And she's kind of picked it up.
Yeah.
She's much faster with the numbers.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of numbers.
If you do your taxes, there's a lot of numbers.
There's a lot of numbers. Do you do your taxes? You just hire someone to
I don't pay taxes, no.
You don't pay
taxes? No, I'm just kidding. No, I pay someone to do my taxes. Because there's no way that I could
Jacob's
ever.
waving at us.
I saw that. There's no way that I could ever.
He's so friendly.
There's no way that I could ever do my taxes.
Yeah, no.
But also, like, so for me, I do a lot of math now. Like, I do a lot of written down
have to.
math.
It's
I do
your
it.
job.
Yeah, I do it all the time, and it doesn't. As long as it's like simple addition and subtraction and multiplication. I mean, I'm using a calculator, but like, it doesn't bother me or intimidate me or anything like that to do those equations or to try to figure out those things. So I don't know. Yeah. I think it's more noticeable now on the positive sides for me, like in my creativity and my speech and my all those things. Like, I think it's way more prevalent in that than it was when I was a kid, where it was just, I got to get through all these useless tests and all this stuff.
Right. No, and I don't think, and one thing we talk about is dyslexia is not like a disability.
Yep.
But yeah, I do struggle with long numbers and things like that, and it frustrates me. But I love talking to students about project ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what about that? What if you did it this way? What if...
Do you think that if you sat down and tried to take the time to learn how to recite long digit numbers, that you could just do it? Like, if you put the effort in now as like an experienced, like someone that really understands your own brain, that you could just do it if you really wanted to? Because I feel like, and we talked about this years ago, but like, I feel like there's all these gaps to my like educational resume of like, I never learned how to do my multiplication tables. I never learned how to write in cursive, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like if I went back, not that I would want to, but if I went back, that I could definitely do it now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. We talked about this a long time ago, but my dad was insistent that I learned the multiplication table.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me out of my room.
Yep.
I could eat.
I would sit at the kitchen table and I My parents would sit down and do it with me, and I couldn't leave
But I
until I
lived
had it.
on a lake. I had a sailboat, and I couldn't do it.
Yep.
It took me a long time to learn it,
Yeah.
and I forgot it all.
Sure.
You know.
No, it's like it's not useful.
I know,
I just
like
mean
5
from
times
like
3 is 15. You know, I remember those things. 9
Yeah.
and 9 is 81. You know.
yeah,
But it
and
was
I
like-
remember some of the random multiplication songs like that you would learn. Like
I didn't know any.
yeah, there's like multiplication songs and like
I didn't get that.
I had these little cards, these little digital cards when I was learning my multiplication tables where you take this pen and you could like click the answer, and it would tell you if it was right or wrong. So it was like these fancy, like, it's like a deck of cards, but you had a pen and you would click the answer you thought was right with the question.
And there was a song.
That's different from the song.
Oh,
Yeah, there was also a song, but I'm a little bit stalling because I can't remember it right now. But
you don't remember the song?
yeah, which I always remember, but I can't remember it right now.
It's like Schoolhouse Rock.
No, it was like I also don't want to do math on the radio, so because now I'm intimidated.
Well, we
by
had
it.
a spelling test on the radio the other time.
Oh, good.
How do you spell meow?
MEOW.
Got it.
I'm talented.
Yes. And we're not going to go down the red book.
Okay, good. I think we have about a minute left before we go to commercial,
Oh, okay.
and
Then we'll actually talk about this.
yeah, then we can talk about dyslexia. Well, we talked about dyslexia,
I
but we can
know,
talk about the
just
book. We can
joking.
talk about the book specifically.
You are listening to Dyslexics Untied. Tune in every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. at BellermanRadio.com. That is BellermanRadio.com. Listen to us again on Fridays on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube for a special video edition. Now, on with the show.
Hey, we're back.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 7, 24, 27, 30. That's 30 apples under that tree. I don't know if it was right, but that is what I would sing.
I have no idea what you just said.
You're counting by threes.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. Here's the problem with the rhyme is that for a long time I did 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. And the 16 was wrong.
Yeah, it's 15,
But I couldn't
15.
It's 15.
Right.
But I couldn't get it out of my head. So
No,
like
I
the
think-
problem with the rhyming song was that if I rhymed it wrong, or not rhymed it wrong, but melodied it wrong, then it was stuck in my head wrong. So 16 was there forever instead of 15.
Got it. Yeah, there was that Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
They had that one.
Yeah.
3 is a magic number.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
We should play it.
It's a magic number.
Lucas, can you dub that song over?
3,
and
6,
post?
9, 12, 15, 18,
21,
21,
24,
24,
27,
7,
30.
30.
That's 30 apples under that
All
tree.
those numbers in YouTube and see what pops up.
I think that'd be fun.
Man, I love Schoolhouse Rock.
And then just play a Schoolhouse Rock song or something like right here.
I'm just a bill.
No,
No,
math
not that one.
math related one. Not I'm just a bill.
yeah,
I'm
sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Not that
Yeah,
one.
not that
Yeah, I forgot the rest of the words. I'm like, what?
I would like a revised version of that song.
There is. SNL did one
They did?
on executive orders back in 2016.
Okay.
I think.
We won't get into that, but that's good. The book.
SNL.
Yeah,
You had some little tabbies.
I went through it a little bit, and they have the 21st century definition of dyslexia.
Ooh. Dude,
You want to read it?
sure.
And I thought we could talk about it a little bit.
21st century definition of dyslexia. And now this is in all caps.
Yeah.
21st century definition of dyslexia. Dyslexia influences as many as 1 in 5 people and is a genetic difference in an individual's ability to learn and process information. As a result, dyslexic individuals have differing, I don't like when they do the F thing like that, the little floppy F. Differing abilities.
They're British.
Differing abilities with
gotta-
strengths in creative,
British.
problem solving, good job, and communication skills, but face challenges with spelling, reading, and memorizing facts. Here's the thing that I just learned.
I don't know if that's true about memorizing facts.
Yeah, also, I didn't know that memorizing didn't have a Z in it,
It's British.
and that's frustrating.
I don't know. Hey, Hobbs.
British when they use S.
Yeah.
So it does have a Z in it
Yes.
in English,
In real English, not British English.
not the King's English.
The Queen. Well, yeah, King.
Yeah.
Right.
Generally,
Sorry.
a dyslexic cognitive profile, will be uneven when compared to a neurotypical
There we go.
cognitive profile. This means that dyslexic individuals really do think differently. Traditional benchmarking disadvantages dyslexics, meaning measuring them against the very things they find challenging. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Seems kind of like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of words, and they spell things weird. We've talked about many of these things, like the last line, measuring them against very things they find challenging.
Yep.
And that's why we get so frustrated in elementary or middle, high school, right?
Yeah. And then what it was like, there's another piece in here.
I just don't know if I agree with memorizing facts.
I don't think I can memorize facts.
Wait, what?
I don't think I can memorize facts.
Oh. So
Were
there's another section.
Were
of
you
the book.
agreeing with this? Can't wait. Let's back up. Do you think that you can memorize facts?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. I desperately want to be a kind of guy that can pull out quotes and facts.
Oh, not quotes.
Why is quotes different than facts?
Facts is like history,
Sure.
science.
Oh, I can
That
do
kind of
that.
thing.
But
Yeah.
here's what I lack, though. And it doesn't say this, so maybe that's fine. I lack the
Now you messed it up.
Shoot.
You broke everything.
I lack the
You broke the book.
I lack the detail part of the facts
Okay.
sometimes, like the person's name or
Oh, yeah,
like,
names.
but like I can explain a whole thing that they did. I could be like, oh, it was like a leader in Mesopotamia, but like I couldn't tell you like who the person was. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like what, sometimes I'll remember a fact, but I'm like, is that World War I or was that World War II? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then, and with quotes, I'll watch endless documentaries and be like, that's a cool quote. That's a cool quote. I want to be able to like pull that out and say it and be like, well, Teddy Roosevelt once said, blah, 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 blah. But I never
think that's normal,
can.
though.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
But I don't know why that's different than memorizing facts.
I mean, there's motivation. I think that's key. Like, do you really want to learn something?
Well, that's what I said. That's what I just said before we went on break about the,
Like, I don't want to know the multiplication table. I don't
Right.
care. I'll just pull out my phone.
yeah. But like memorizing numbers or like remembering digits of numbers and stuff like that.
Right. Like, I don't have
Yeah,
any.
don't care to do it.
No, I don't want to do it.
But I think that if you look at I'm trying to pull out of here.
Yeah.
If you look at the cognitive profile of a dyslexic person, right, as a young adult or a child, that's where all the struggles are. And then for me, I just feel like,
Broke it again.
for me, I just feel like after that, and maybe I'm just like not noticing it because I've been dealing with it for so long. After that, it's just a takeoff. Like, I don't think that like after I got out of the like academic world, even in my master's program, I didn't really struggle. Like after I got out of like undergrad and, high school, middle school, like I don't have a ton of issue with it.
Yeah, no. I did much better in college.
Yeah.
And I struggled all through elementary, middle, high school. But when I went to graphic design school at the Art Institute,
Yeah.
like I was good. I was like one of their top students. And I don't know what the difference was. I wasn't getting pop quizzes and having to memorize the book.
Well, and you can communicate how you feel and how you.
You keep breaking the book.
I'm just gonna shut it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, do you think it's because of the amount of pressure that you had when you were younger to do the certain way and act a certain way? Like, you have to do it this way. But as you've gotten older, you've been able to hone like your own craft in your own way, in your own style.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Like
You want to sit down over here? That's
But you can steal that quote.
okay. I won't remember it, but I liked it because I think that
because we had different routes. Like I went to trade school.
Yep.
to
And
do graphic design, and you went right into college.
Yep. And I'm under a different level. I'm under a ton of pressure now, but it's a different level of pressure. And it's a pressure that, like what Jacob's saying, that I really like, that's like in my control. Like I can control how I handle it and how I execute and how I do all that. Like I'm in a leadership role where I'm able to do those things. Whereas in college and in undergrad and college, undergrad, same thing. In undergrad and in middle school and high school and all these things, I wasn't the one in control of my result. It was somebody else who I had to prove to them that I could give them the good result or the result that they wanted. And now I don't have to do that.
Right.
I just have to prove it to myself.
Yeah. And when I started
I think Jacobs needs to replace my therapist.
when I started in tech school, and it was all about projects. So you were measured by your project.
And you probably very much excelled at that.
Oh, I blew everybody away.
Right.
I loved it. And that's what got me back into like formal learning. So I did go to college and, got the PhD and all that kind of stuff. But it gave me the confidence, I think, because I was really good at creating projects.
Yeah.
And I remember my professors sometimes were like, yeah, I don't think you can do that. I think it's too complicated. And that just made me want to do it more.
That was a part of this book, too. The book talked about the fact that we ask why and how and what are we doing here. Like those questions are just in the repertoire. And I'm curious, though, there's another path that can happen, too, with dyslexia where you're not able to grab any of those things, like any of those drivers or maybe any of that confidence or those pieces, and then you just get left in the dirt.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you have to do as a young kid? If you're like a young person listening, like, what do you have to do to find a driver?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I thought so.
Yeah. And I'm on dyslexic Facebook groups.
Okay.
And you get questions like that all the time. Like, my child can't read, can't do this, can't do that. What do I do? That kind of stuff. And it's tough, but the book goes into this a little bit. We talked too, levels of dyslexia.
Sure.
It's a spectrum too.
Yep.
And you just want to tell them like, hey, learn a craft. Like, we're really good chefs, builders,
Yep.
masons, carpenters. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I like about the Germans, because I worked with a lot of Germans in Europe, they really valued craftsmanship.
Sure.
Like, someone who's really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are dyslexic because you have to test in to get to college.
Right.
And if you don't test in, you got to pick a trade. That's how it works.
So
Through a lot of Europe.
So if you're in college, like, what do you have dyslexic students now?
None that I know of.
Okay. Well, that negates my question then.
Yeah.
But
I had one student who's now very successful. She's doing great. But she thought her dyslexia was because she got kicked in the head by a horse.
what?
Yes. So when she was little, she got kicked in the head by a horse, had to go to the hospital, all that kind of stuff. And so when I talked about my dyslexia, she was like, tell me more. She's like, it's exactly all the things you're saying are what I experience. And so it really opened her. She just thought she had a brain injury.
Sure.
Because she was little and she got kicked in the head.
So how do you? Another piece to this as a educator, like, how do you have those conversations with students? Like, when do you mention it? How do you mention it? Do you have one-on-one conversations with students where you're talking about dyslexia? Is it in your classroom?
Yeah. No, I'll first day of class, like, I'm dyslexic, I'm a very creative person.
Yep.
I can help you brainstorm and come up with any idea, but I might not remember your name.
I love that.
It doesn't mean I don't love you.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I won't remember the day or the time. So tell me if I'm going to go over.
Yep.
I just, time has no I don't understand it.
Yep.
And if I say there's class tomorrow, it doesn't mean class tomorrow. It could be a Tuesday class that meets on Thursday.
It's the next class that I have with you.
I'm trying to adjust that.
Yeah, that's tough. But for sure, I get it, though.
Yeah. I'm like, so for our next class, you know, and so there's been shifts that I've been doing to help my students because I want them to, you know, learn and also not be confused.
Yeah.
And if I say class tomorrow and there's like 2 or 3 students that are like, what? There's class tomorrow?
Right.
You know, I don't want that. So I'm trying. I
That makes
adjust
sense.
too. But yeah, I tell them things like that right up front.
Is there any, like, individualized conversations with students about your dyslexia?
Maybe like during advising sessions or
Sure.
something where they're like, do I take 310 or 319? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means.
I have to
what
look
are,
it up.
What are these classes?
Right.
Yeah.
I
And it's like
don't
I've been
know.
teaching them for years. I don't know what
Right. I
ones
don't
they
even
are.
know. I
Is
don't
that-
even know
is-
where my office is.
Is that multimedia or
It's, I don't know. I have no idea. It's my office.
Yeah. But it's just not how you think
I
of
just
things.
don't remember that. You know, yeah. So maybe I should.
I don't know. I really don't. I think it's interesting in how you approach those conversations because I have group conversations every single day, all the time, like at my job, and I struggle sometimes to figure out how I should have those conversations. Not about dyslexia specifically or whatever they are. So I just don't know if it's different in the academic world. Like if it's better to pull someone aside, better to talk to it about in class, better to whatever it is. Like I don't know if you're like just dealing with that sort of like trying to figure that out, you know, the best way to approach those conversations with students.
Yeah. I just think being open and honest.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. I'm not a superhuman.
Yeah.
I'm a normal person.
I'm no Superman.
I don't know that song.
I got it.
Awesome.
You know that?
Yeah.
If you've seen the show Scrubs, it's
No.
the theme song.
I'm no
Scrubs?
Superman.
Is it like like nurses?
Huh?
Yes,
Doctors.
It is the
Doctors?
one-
Okay.
It's like the only TV show that's like actually accurate to what hospital life is like, which is surprising because
It's
slapstick.
really weird.
But
It's a
accurate.
really weird show.
I respect everybody in the medical industry. I
Sure.
respect. But I do not like being in a hospital, and I don't think I'd like watching a show with people in a hospital.
It's actually a really popular genre.
Is
Is
it?
TV shows of
I
people
don't.
in a hospital.
I mean, what was it? There was one that was like an old one in the 70s and 80s. But it's like, why do I want to watch? I don't like being in the hospital. It's usually a bad reason if you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Unless you work there.
Is there ever a good reason to be in the hospital?
Yeah.
I guess to work there,
Work, yeah.
but
Have a
The
child.
fact you work
Yeah.
there.
That's a
is
pretty good one.
Reason. You work there because bad things.
Someone
happen
else
to
is having a
people,
child.
and they
you want to
need
help
you.
other people.
So
Plastic surgery.
yeah.
Oh, no. I don't like hospitals.
It'll make you beautiful, Sean.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, I just think that kind of stuff is interesting.
Yeah, so what do you think about the definition?
I like it. I like that it does something that's a big like psychology thing to do, which is this is going to sound really stupid, but something is
No, you're not going to say something. This is
I don't know why I prefaced this
This is
one versus
shocking.
the others. Something is only something in reference to something else.
Can you restate that?
So
Oh.
something is only something in reference to something else. It's a big Einstein theory about like it's like what the theory of relativity is, right? You can only say something is heavy because you're comparing it to something light. You can only say something is strong because you're comparing it to something weak. So what I like about the definition of dyslexia, can I get back to it?
Oh, I just took the tab out.
You took the tab out?
Yeah, I thought you were done.
So what? That's such a bonkers way to think about something. Why did you just move to the next tab?
Well, because I thought we were moving
I'm
on.
gonna get a picture of that. Page 2.
Well, okay, it's
Okay.
right here. I
All
found
right,
it.
don't
But
break my book.
it's just a weird thing to think that like, okay, we were done with that topic, so you pulled the tab out.
Yeah.
instead of just moving to the next tab. That's another way that our brains are different. I would
Okay.
have just moved to the next tab. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm
I
just,
don't
just saying that it was
I'm
weird.
good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Traditional benchmarking disadvantages dyslexics, measuring them against the very things they find challenging. So the only reason dyslexia is a difference is compared to something else. If you didn't have a traditional system or any system at all, then there wouldn't be a dyslexic person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just find that interesting. You can go to your next tab now.
Don't remove it. Don't remove it.
Okay.
You can remove it. It's your book.
No. I want to get.
Do whatever you
look
want.
at it.
Can eat the book.
Maybe.
I don't think I want to eat it. But yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, it's the whole way we educate in Europe and America is about disadvantaging a dyslexic thinker.
Mhm.
And I think the book argues very successfully that those days are over. They have to be. Because it doesn't, I don't, with technology, it doesn't matter how fast you can do multiplication. You know, it doesn't matter that you can memorize all these facts because you just pull out your phone, right? I remember like when cell phones were first coming out and we'd be like, who was that actor in that movie? And we were like brainstorming,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trying to figure out who it was. And then it was like, oh, wait, let me just Google it, you know? And so I think what we're seeing is that shift, like the world of like the Jeopardy brain. It's a good brain, not disqualifying it or anything.
Yeah, nothing against Ken Griffin.
They're really smart people, but are they creative?
Do you think that you would have been better off if you grew up in a school that like was valuing what you were good at? So like you would have grown up like, so if you grew up in a school that was valuing what you're good at, you would have been a straight A+ student, right? You're a really smart guy, but you grew up as a straight D, F, C student.
Right.
Do you think that it would have been any different, or do you think that it gave you
Who was our guest? John
Henry.
John Henry.
Fake
Shout out.
name.
Fake name John Henry.
The mafia's after him, so don't give him up.
Yep, don't do it. I'd love
Yeah,
to have
if
him
I
back
grew up
on.
in a John Henry school, yeah, it would have been different.
Would have been better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay,
But I moved around so much.
sure.
So, like, I guess 11 or 12 different schools before I graduated.
Yeah.
I'd move, like, mid-semester or whatever they call it. And so I was just frustrated by the system.
Yeah.
Really frustrated. And, yeah, and just, like, spelling tests and,
Sure.
you know.
But like
You can't do math with a calculator because you're not always going to have a calculator. I heard that a million times.
I heard that so many times, and I was
Like,
even when I was going through school, I was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'll just buy a calculator.
I had one on my phone. you
or like
know?
even when the phone wasn't there, I was like,
I mean,
just,
on my
They're like pocket-sized ones.
yeah, I was
I
like,
had
I'll just
one on
buy
my-
one and have. What are you talking about? Like
had
that's
on
a creative
the
thinker,
watch.
though. That's a creative thinker to be like, what do you mean I won't have one? If I just want to have one, I can just buy one and have it. Even as TI-83, I don't care. Like, I'll put a complex calculator in my pocket.
I think they put them on pins too, didn't they?
calculator on a pen.
I think I've seen it before.
Seems
It was
challenging.
crazy. But
Regardless, or
I want that watch. I want it back. That's what.
didn't you used to
Yes.
have that?
Yeah, I had it, but I had to take it off in
'Cause it-
class
Oh,
because it was cheating.
you know, somebody. I don't know if I should say this.
Just be vague.
So I'm not going to say who it was,
And
or
nothing political.
no, it's not political at all.
Jacob says.
No, this is just related to calculators.
Got it.
But when I was in high school, I had a TI-83 calculator. One of my friends put a program that he built, who's super smart, put a program that he built onto the calculator that could solve complex math problems.
Okay.
I brought that calculator to the ACT and used it once, and then the second time, and did decent on math for me. Then, but like that wasn't my final ACT score because it was still garbage. And went in the second time to take my ACT with that calculator, and they searched through my calculator and they found it, and they said you can't use this calculator
Wow.
because it had a program on it that solved, like, you could just type in, like, so if it was, I don't have a piece of paper, but like if it was a, God, this butcher this so bad. Max, don't get upset
This
with
is
me.
great radio.
Max is a Bellarmine math professor, and and
I'm sure he's listening.
yeah, I'm sure he's listening, but he's one of my friends, and any equation you could just type it out how it looked on the piece of paper.
Right.
So like if there was numbers and then a line, you could put the numbers in and then the line and put the numbers underneath it with all the parentheses and everything, and you could type and you could do the entire equation, and you could just type it in and solve it. And this is back in, like, I don't know what, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's not good for the ACT. Like, that's not very fair. So
Because they want you to do every step.
yeah, because they want you to do every step and show your work. Because I've used that, the Pythagorean theorem. I've used it so many times. Anyway, you're not interested in this, but
You're way over my head on
Back
this.
to this, like, you guys asked the why questions.
yeah,
But
why?
Why?
Well, I can just buy one. Like right now, I could buy one. I have it right with me. Anyway,
You could always have one.
and I have one even more now. I
Yeah.
just use this calculator on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the event of like zombie apocalypse, where like you're gonna want to do this in your head. If that happens,
I'm gonna really want to do math in the midst of the zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm gonna
I
sit
mean,
around and
it's
do math
definitely
all
gonna
day.
I think that's all I'm gonna be is a.
Mathematician.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
I'm gonna
There's another name.
multiplication before I find water. You know?
I think you should.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting now with the technology that we have that I've seen, like, you can, like, take a picture of a math problem.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be, and then it solves it. Just
I use
Oh,
AI
wow.
all the time too. Like I use AI now all the time. Just like Copilot that's like built into Microsoft.
Mhm.
It's not as good, but like it's secure because it's built into your company's,
Yeah.
web. I'm sorry, not web.
Copilot.
Copilot. Microsoft
So you're
Copilot.
you're learning to fly now.
Yes. God, Sean's way out of this math and Copilot conversation.
It's Microsoft's AI, and it really
It's like 3 generations behind ChatGPT probably.
Yeah.
But it's really
still
good.
helpful.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh.
I'll show it to you. It's on your email. If you have Outlook here at Bellarmine, it's on there.
Oh, is it where it fills in like great, good job, that kind of stuff?
No. Well, it's part of that, but not, and we don't have time for this. We don't have time to explain AI. Anyway, you were going to say one more thing about the book.
I should know more about AI. I really should.
you
And
teach.
it just keeps moving. Everything keeps moving.
The goalposts are always going to move.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, how much time we got?
Yeah, like 4 minutes.
4
Good,
minutes.
probably about 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So there's a.
Now it's 2 minutes.
Oh no, it keeps moving. Everything's moving.
Sean's getting so upset with the way the world is moving so quickly in
It
front of
moves
him.
fast.
He was the one that moved the tab, too.
Yeah, exactly. He moved the tab.
I did. I moved.
You let the
tab.
world move fast.
Let me see if there's one of these that I can pull out here. So they talk here. There's like facts about dyslexia. Each dyslexic will have a different pattern of strengths and challenges.
Pattern of strengths and challenges?
That's what they say.
How are they a pattern of strengths and challenges? What does that mean?
That's a good question. I mean, I think
Like, so if I have, I don't even know how to begin to dissect that. Go to a different, what's another one?
4 and 5 successful dyslexics attribute dyslexic thinking to their success.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the question is 4 and 5 successful.
Right.
What about all the ones in prison?
And what do they attribute dyslexia to?
Right.
Do they also attribute to their criminal success?
I don't know.
We have a few seconds left.
Oh, and it says, well, and it's a good way to end. Dyslexic thinking skills are vital for the future. I totally agree.
To criminals and non-criminals.
Yes, and stop throwing us in jail.
Yeah, please.
So maybe don't do things that get you in jail.
Okay, Luke, we're not
Well,
getting into that.
get
We're not going to get into people's
semantics.
personal lives. Yeah, golly.
Make it all political now.
And that's what we don't want to do.
Yeah,
Right.
Jacob has taught us that.
Right.
Thank you everyone for listening to Dyslexics Untied. Tune in live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on BellarmineRadio.com. That is Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on BellarmineRadio.com. Listen to us again on Fridays on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. Also, catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, see you next time.